Everyone hates powder grinding, even though it makes pretty good money and gives you decent rates of both powder. It's still pretty slow and extremely boring. In my previous video, I mastered Armadillo Mining, along the way getting my total gemstone powder to over 7 million. But my mithril powder is lacking, plus some of my perks still need to be maxed with gemstone powder. And at this point in the game, I do not want to touch another treasure chest. So that got me thinking about how viable alternate methods of powder gain actually are. If you choose to grind any of these methods, you'll get tons of gemstone and mithril powder and give yourself a boost to your mining profit. So join me as I explore the various options available to you. For the first 4 commissions you do each day, you'll get bonus powder upon claiming them. Ever since powder buff was fixed, they became insane for gemstone powder if you can do them quickly. Comms that require you to mine gemstones only take about 30 seconds, while ones that require you to kill enemies generally take a bit longer, but you can do them a lot quicker if you find pretty much any structure in the 4 quadrants. It should still take you under 5 minutes to complete any commission. For your time, you'll get 3,680 gemstone powder. This might sound low, but by the time you factor in 2 times powder and a level 50 powder buff, you're earning over 10,000 powder per commission, making you around 40,000 powder per day for only 10 to 15 minutes of your time. Logging on each day for your daily commissions is very effective for your time when powder grinding. Some of you might think that this is worth it for Dwarven Mines commissions as well, but I would recommend against this unless you really need mithril powder, because you get way less mithril powder from Dwarven Mines commissions than gemstone powder from Crystal Hollows ones. Of course, gemstone mining gives you gemstone powder, but how good is it really for powder grinding? The only 2 methods that are noteworthy for powder gain are mining with Efficient Miner and Armadillo Mining. The former is a very interesting choice, because Efficient Miner is useless for money because it can't prop pristine, but it does break extra blocks and give you more powder off those blocks. For this method, you want to maximize your mining speed while still leveling up Efficient Miner. To get more mining speed, we'll be mining in the magma fields. I do this because we can use the bell's 15% buff to increase our mining speed further. Although you won't be making amazing money from this, surprisingly, I'm getting 70k gemstone powder per hour without a 2 times powder event and only using 4 million powder on my perks. I'll leave the coordinates for the ruby root I'm using in the description, although depending on your mining speed, you might need more veins than what is required here. This method is surprisingly effective for powder, considering that it only takes me 10 to 20 minutes to set up. But a far more well-known method for grinding gemstone powder is Armadillo Mining. Now, I'm not going to give a full tutorial on it as I have an entire video on my channel already, but this method breaks so many gemstone blocks that you need to find 1 of 2 structures in the precursor remnants to even do it. Where it stands out is that you do not need any mining speed for this method, so you can put more of your powder into powder buff to increase your powder rates. Currently, I make 80 to 90,000 gemstone powder per hour without 2 times powder, on top of the insane money that I make. Out of the 2, purely looking at powder gains, Armadillo Mining is the best option. However, don't let that stop you from trying both, as Armadillo Mining takes a lot of time to get into, and you need to be decently skilled to make it worth it over Efficient Miner. If you grind out these methods, you can expect gemstone powder totals that look like this. Wait, that's the wrong number, because it's my sub count, and it's not at 10,000. I put a ton of time into these videos to bring you super high quality content, and at 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away 100 million coins on my Discord, link down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe for the giveaway. Yet again, we return to manually mining for powder, but I'd argue that mining mithril is one of the most cost-effective ways to gain mithril powder in the game. The 2 variants of this method are Standard Crystal Hollows Mithril Mining and Magma Fields Mithril Mining. Both of these methods are very mechanically similar, so I'll be referring to them as if they were the same method unless stated otherwise. In the description, I have linked 2 separate coordinate lists for each variant. When allocating powder, I am purely focusing on mining speed and powder buff to maximize my powder gains. For Magma Fields Mithril, you want both the Pegomulus and mining speed boost abilities, and just the Pegomulus for the standard version. Because of all the mining XP you get, you can level a G-Drag or Wither Skeleton for the standard Mistral Mining, but you'll have to XP share one for Magma Field's Mithril, as you need to be using the Bell Pet during your mining speed boosts. I'm planning to make a full guide on this method in the future, so I'll link it in the top right whenever I do. But in terms of powder, I got 150k Mithril powder from 1 hour of doing this, again without the 2x powder event. But there is a method undoubtedly better than any other for Mithril powder: Goblin Egg Spamming. Essentially what this method requires you to do is spam a ton of goblin eggs to spawn golden goblins and then killing them. If you have max powder buff and golden goblin killer, you can get 600 powder per goblin kill. It's best that you spawn them in a small room such as this. If you take these tracks and then spawn them in these rooms, they won't have anywhere to run. The one big problem with this method is that it requires around 80 million coins per hour. However, that 80 million coins can get you 600k powder per hour, and if you wait for 2x powder events, not only will you gain double the powder, but you'll be spending half the money to gain that powder. I highly recommend waiting for this event, because if you aren't super rich, or if you just want to optimize this method, it's a very easy way to do so. Powder ghasts are the final method to cap off the Mithril Mining section. They give you a fair bit of powder every time you damage them. If you use a short bow and a standard ferocity setup, you can turn one hit into multiple to damage them far more often, and gain a fair chunk of powder as you do so. But are they really worth it? Most of the time, no. Unless you're goblin egg spamming somewhere near them, or mining mithril in the dwarven mines, they will usually be killed or despawned by the time you get to them. However, they still are a decent way to gain mithril powder if the opportunity presents itself. Treasure chests may be the best way to gain gemstone and mithril powder at once, but there is far better and way less boring ways to solely focus on one type of powder. So whether you're Armadillo mining for gemstone powder or goblin egg spamming for insane amounts of mithril powder, I hope this video has taught you something new and that you have greatly enjoyed it. Now you know the best ways to gain every type of powder, and hopefully you are on your way to becoming a maxed out miner. Anyways, thanks for watching to the end. Remember to like, subscribe, and join the Discord, and I'll see you next time.